Hello and good Monday morning to you, my virtual human jelly beans. I am so glad to be back on the Instagram with you, my bookish people. Coffee cheers. This lovely mug my friend Sarah gave me for my birthday. So happy. It has yet to work, but a gal can dream. So we're here with July's very first episode of our weekly reading book review as usual. If you missed any of June's, they're up on my blog or my YouTube, so feel free to check them out there. I also just posted my favorites of June and little blurbs about each of those. So of course, want to know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying, but FYI, here come the books I read this week and the books I may or may not read this upcoming week. Cool? All right, here we go. The first one I read, finished. This is Judi Dench's Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent. This is her in conversation with a fellow actor friend about her 75 plus years performing roles in Shakespeare plays, both for mostly stage and some film and television. So she's funny, as you probably know, and a lot of insights into acting, her interpretation of the characters, how she gets into character and the mindset, whether or not she likes the play, etc. So it goes play by play, and then the characters within specific plays that she's played, and even some general topics of acting, etc. So loved that. Easy to read. It's a big book, but because it's a conversation, it's great. Originally, the guy who, I can't believe they didn't put his name on the cover, Brandon O'Hay, was just recording these as for the Globe's archives, and then thought, this would probably be a good book. So I'm glad this was published and I got to read it without having to travel to the Globe and sit in a room and listen to tapes. Cool? Okay, Shakespeare, Man Who Pays the Rent, Dame Judi Dench. Awesome. Okay, the next one I finished, I listened to the podcast episode of the Story Nerd podcast about the movie version with Glenn Close of The Wife. This is the original book out from Scribner. Yep, Scribner, The Wife by Meg Wolitzer. It is so well written, but you want to strangle this guy. And I knew the twist, so I kept reading. There were times when I didn't want to finish it, but I knew what twist was coming and I wanted to get there and see how she did it. So well written. It is blunt about a lot of things that I take a little more personally and I'm sensitive about. They're just kind of out there as truth facts instead of like, I don't know how, if you need details of what I'm trying to say without saying it out loud, you can ask. But so super well written, not normally my type of book, but if you want to rage against the patriarchy, this may be the book for you also. It's also, he's a famous author, and they're on their way to Finland to get his famous Finnish author lifetime achievement prize. And so there's flashbacks to their relationship and his writing when he was or wasn't succeeding. They started their marriage as an affair when she was a student and he was a professor, etc. So covers a lifetime. Well done. I just don't like him. Okay, on happier things, maybe not. This is The Enigma of Room 622 by Joel Dicker, don't know how to say it. This was originally published in French, translated into English, because I do not speak French for 600 pages. This is adult mystery, but I would say very tiny, maybe 2 cusses. So no content aside from, probably murder, but it's not graphic. Lots of twists and turns. It is told as if an author, okay, so this author, real author, arrives at a hotel and notices that the room next to his is labeled 621A, and the one next to that one is 621, and he's in room 623. So like, where's 622? And then so he starts his investigation about what happened 15 years ago in room 622 that the hotel obliterated the number, and of course there was a murder there, and we don't know till about page 400 who was even murdered. So a lot of flashbacks, a lot of stories within stories, and different characters, and it was brilliant. And I didn't know I cared about Swiss bankers, but I cared for this one. So interpersonal relationships, hotel management, and investigation, and authors, and housekeepers, and rich people, and everybody's faking it to marry a rich person, and it's just great. So again, The Enigma of Room 622, if you need a mystery to keep you entertained for nearly a week. This may be the book for you. Also, it was a total cover buy, obviously, but it was good inside too, so even better. Okay, the only other one I finished was another adult book. Where did all my kids' books go this week, guys? I don't know. This is Convenience Store Woman. I was at Barnes & Noble with my husband, who was buying history, philosophy, something books I didn't want, but this gorgeous pink little spine caught my eye, as it does. So again, this is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. Japanese fiction. You will read it in one sitting. It is delightful and weird, a little frank about some things, but by the end of it, you're like, wait, was that one great big metaphor for society and nonconformity, or is she a little bit on the spectrum? Or it doesn't matter, because it was just enjoyable and cute and quirky and odd, and I loved it. Also, that cover, I mean, hello, it's great. So she's worked in a convenience store for 18 years, and everyone's telling her, you need to get married, you need to have babies, you should get a real job. And so like, she lets this bum move in with her, and then it's like, oh wait, that's not what you meant. And like, she loves the convenience store because the employee manual taught her how to be a human and how to interact with people. So again, just great. And of course, I would love to read more by this author. Okay, she's prolific, so there's hopes for that. All right, might read next. Currently reading. This is high fantasy kids book. This was published in the early 80s. This is Robin McKinley's The Hero and the Crown. Bought a used copy because, you know, classic. I needed it. Needed to read it. I'm on page 68 of 240, and I might know 20% of what's going on. I'm trying so hard. Been a while since I read fantasy. Also, that this was like a kid's book. Newbery winner, guys, back in the day. Look at that tiny, tiny text. It is dense. And like, it started out when she was 16 and she's already 19, and like, things happen in like a paragraph. You like time jump a whole year, and there's like a lot of telling and explaining, and these words, we still don't know what they mean. And it's like, good on kids back then for being this intelligent compared to our tiny little chapters and giant font these days. So this would totally be published as YA today. So if you have a very upper middle grade reader, or a YA who needs clean fantasy, or you're an adult who likes fantasy, you've probably already read this, but I hadn't, so I'm trying. It's a red-headed princess from the king's second wife, whoever, you know, the rumor in the village is she was a witch who died in childbirth, and she's training with, it says cousin, I don't know if they're really cousins because they're kind of flirting, but she's training because she doesn't want to be a lady, and well, she wants to be a lady, but she doesn't want to be a hoity-toity, just dress up and show up at court lady. She wants to fight the dragons, I guess. I don't know. We're not there yet. But she just discovered in a book from the library a salve to prevent dragon burn. So that's what I figured out. Not doing great, but I'm hanging with it. Okay, might read next. Gonna read next. Look at this stunner. Okay, shiny, shiny. This is Children of Anguish and Anarchy, Tomi Adeyemi's brand new one just came out, and look, lo and behold, I got it signed and personalized from my peeps at Books of Wonder, whose bookmark just fell out. But look at those pages, it's so pretty. So it's not just sprayed, it's a little bit inside, so like when you read it, it like expands the pattern, and it's stunning. So love that. Excited. Map of Orisha, etc. on the inside end pages. So lovely. This is the conclusion to her trilogy. She's currently working on the movie. So exciting. Thank you for my signed copy, Tomi. Might read next, another used bookstore pickup, Devil in the White City, another classic, haven't read it yet. Adult nonfiction narrative about the Chicago World's Fair, and it is murder, magic, and madness at the fair that changed America. Yeah, I mean, if it's nonfiction, at least sounds good for nonfiction, right? I may or may not read Silver Nitrate, Silvia Moreno Garcia. Picked it up when it came out in paperback. It is Hollywood horror. And I still didn't read Ryan Gowden's The Girl Who Kept the Castle. I'm gonna need some middle grade in here. That's probably not quite as high fantasy as Robin McKinley. I have read other Robin McKinley books before, but it was more like Spindle's End and the Beauty one, that also at least got a Newbery honor. So I've read her like easier to read fairy tales. But anyway, this is Ryan Gowden's middle grade, The Girl Who Kept the Castle. Can't wait. And my pal author Haley and I are gonna do Write for Life. So I did this a couple years ago, week by week with my Patreons. Gonna attempt it again because we got stuff to write. So I'm heading off to the studio. So coffee cheers to you. I hope you had a marvelous June. Tell me all about it below, and we'll be in touch soon.